with that coordinate transformation, do we know how do we change the partial y, partial x in the original equation into the non-dimensional form into partial eta and partial c? Chain rule, that's right. So if we have a partial x of any quantity, let's just put a dot here, what is it equal to?
Partial c of thing times partial c partial y.
Partial c. I mean, a very often mistake I see is that, c is equal to x, so partial x has to be equal to partial c. That is not the case. Why is it not the case? Imagine we have xy coordinate, and actually let's imagine we have something very similar to a similarity solution. Let's say Blasius solution, whose eta derivative, whose c derivative is actually 0, right? Being a similarity solution means you can perform such a change of variable, such that the delta x is what we derived in the previous lectures, such that as you advance in the c direction and keep the same eta, keep the same ratio of y and delta, you see no change in any of the quantities. So that means partial c is equal to 0, but partial x, if you travel along the x direction while keeping the y, is it the same? It's not. So partial derivative is tricky because taking a partial derivative, the meaning of taking a partial derivative depends on what you are keeping constant. And because the other variable has changed, what you are keeping as constant has changed. Therefore, even you have two identical coordinates, does not mean the partial derivative to that same coordinate is the same. It can be very different actually. So this is not true. You need to put another variable. So let's follow rigorously the chain rule. This is equal to this times partial x partial c plus partial eta. Oh, the other way, yes. Thank you. Partial c partial x, and then partial eta partial x. Now you see partial eta partial x is not 0. Partial c partial x is 1. Yes. Okay. So let's keep deriving. So that means partial c partial x can be dropped out, and the remaining term partial eta partial x is we have still a y up there, so y is going to be kept. So we have a y, we have a minus delta square and d delta dx, right? Okay, and let's simplify that a little bit, put a minus sign out there, and we know that we want to change everything to the non-dimensional coordinate. So let's say y divided by delta is equal to eta. So we have eta up there, eta, and divided by delta, d delta dx. All right. So that's what we are going to be using to change this thin layer equation into the non-dimensional form.